Welcome to PPG Paints Arena. Hello, I'm Dan Kingerski with National Hockey Now and Pittsburgh Hockey Now, where on Thursday night the Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Philadelphia Flyers 3-2 in overtime. The deck was stacked against the Penguins. Let's just be clear about that. Hours before game time, head coach Mike Sullivan enters the COVID protocol. This week, Sidney Crosby, Brian Dumoulin, Marcus Pettersson, Chad Ruedel also entered protocol. So with all of these newbies in the lineup, you have to think at some point the Penguins locker room looks around, looks at themselves, and just gives that WTF moment. However, they come out on Thursday night. They came out 16 seconds into the game. Brock McGinn scores a goal. I don't think you can I don't think you can overstate how big of a goal that was. Everyone gets a little bit taller. Everyone gets a little bit more confident. Everyone gets a little bit bigger in that first period because all of a sudden now you feel good. You get that first goal. Now you're playing ahead, and the Penguins got to their game, I thought, for the first, let's call it 12 minutes of the first period. You saw the Penguins' forecheck be very disruptive. You saw their back check be very disruptive. The tide began to turn, a little bit past the halfway point, and the Flyers kind of poured it on in the back half of the first period. A lot of the Penguins' newbies looked like newbies, and we'll get to some of the performances as well. But let's credit where it's due. Tristan Jarry was brilliant on Thursday night. He stopped 36 of 38 overall, stopped all 17 shots in the first period. He really saved their bacon, I thought, especially later in the first period and midway through the third period as well, when the Flyers were just throwing the house, right? They were just pressuring, and they were, most nights I think the Flyers win this game. But the Flyers were also very sloppy. The Flyers probably gave the Penguins a little bit of a gift on Thursday night. They should have run the Penguins out of the barn, but they didn't. Joel Farabee for the Flyers was very good, but there were a lot of uneven performances in the black and orange. Not that the Penguins fans not that you are going to mind whatsoever. Let's get to a couple of the graded performances. Obviously without Mike Sullivan behind the bench, everything's going to be a little bit chaotic. Everything is just kind of thrown into the blender, right? Jarry, extraordinarily good on Thursday. I also thought Brock McGinn was really good. I docked a couple points because he didn't cover P.O. Joseph on one of the pinches, but maybe sometimes I nitpick a little bit too much, right? The Brian Boyle line with Drew O'Connor and Dominic Simone was very good in the early part of the game, but they started drawing heavier assignments against the Flyers' top line. They lost some battles against the Flyers' third line as well. They weren't scored upon. So, there's that. So they get a passing mark. I thought the Jeff Carter line with Danton Heinen and Jake Gensel was hot and cold, right? They were trying to find their way. Danton Heinen is sneaky good. I think he's off to a really good start, and you might see a player like that stick around in Pittsburgh beyond the 12 months that he signed. Jake Gensel has to feel just a million pounds lighter. He fans on the shot of a scoring chance, reaches back, and gets a softie. Sometimes those things kind of make you feel like the world is in your corner. Couple performances I didn't like on Thursday night. We'll start with Kasperi Kapanen. It looks to me like the goalless streak is starting to get in his head a little bit. Sulking might not be the right word, but it just, he wasn't that good. He was kind of streaky. He was kind of bricking the puck a few times. He wasn't where he needed to be. He did have a couple glorious chances and right into Carter Hart, so it looks a bit like that's in his head. And P.O. Joseph, I wanted to be a bit more consistent. He had some high spots, but he also had a couple low spots as well. So there's your 5 minutes from PPG Paints Arena. I'm Dan Kingerski for National Hockey Now.